All right, what's going on?
EV money.
Oh yeah.
How come Show Me the Money doesn't have a cool theme song?
Oh, I think we're getting there.
Hmm.
We are.
I
We're
wrote
actually
it. I
working on
said
that
I
right
would
now.
record it. Now, you know what though? My ukulele playing has gotten much better
Oh,
over the
that's good.
last, yeah. So which admittedly, you're starting from zero. So,
True. I think you start anywhere from zero. So, and then it's
so
just a matter of how far you want to go with it.
anything above zero is better than zero. But so I'll because I wrote a theme song for Show Me the Money. Right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
we're gonna have to. Well, yeah, we'll have to revisit that. I know. We have somebody working on the intro though for it, so I don't know if it's going to be as cool as the EV Money intro or not, but time will tell.
ooh,
So we'll see
can't
with
wait.
that. I think that
Can't wait.
might be on Tuesday's docket, but I'm not 100% sure. It depends on when the editor gets it
Ooh.
back to me.
Oh, you actually did it. Cool.
Yep.
Right on.
Yes.
Right
Welcome everybody.
on.
It is EV Money, a show about EVs and Uber and Lyft. And if you're questioning whether you're going to get an EV or not to drive Uber and Lyft, we're going to be talking about some different things there. We got quite a few different topics today to talk about. I see Will in the back green room. He came on because Gabe forgot to send out the invite link. So,
Forget everything.
Will, hold on. You'll be on in just a minute. But yeah, we're going to be talking about are you going to buy the Volvo EX30? We're going to be talking about the Model Y. We're going to be talking about Lux and how that went away, and Lux Black is still there, and what somebody is doing to their vehicle to qualify for Lux Black. Now it's
Mhm.
funny because I did mention that a couple weeks ago on Show Me the Money Club, and Gabe, you told him to do that before, so it seems like we're on the same page on that idea. So air pound, my boy, when it comes to it. That's kind of fun. And then we're going to be talking about Hertz, the partnership with EV there. Some autonomous vehicle fails. Oh, those are always fun to watch and see and discuss. And then we're going to be talking about the cost of charging and things there. So we got
And
quite a bit to talk about and some fun.
and also a last minute ad. We have another guest from our forum besides Will, so we should have
Yep,
some
yep,
who
very
needs your
last
help.
minute.
Who needs
And
some help?
it's
Who could maybe make a little bit of money helping him out?
oh, all right. Well, let's bring on Will.
Hey, there he
What's up,
is.
Will?
Hello.
Good Will Connor. How are you, sir?
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Oh, pretty good. Nice.
Very
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah,
Gabe
no
just kind of
problem.
gave you that last second in order to get on.
Yeah, I was already ready. I've been ready for like an hour. So,
Oh, nice. Well, I'm glad that he was able to get you the link because we were talking about that before, literally just before we hit live. And so thanks for coming on.
yeah,
Appreciate
you're
that.
welcome.
So first off, Gabe did mention talking about the Facebook group. So what
Yes.
we want to do is mention if you are interested in an EV, if you drive an EV, if you drive Uber and Lyft, this is the Facebook group for you. A link's going to be in the description below, but you can join the EV driver group right there. And then, if you hit that little invite button, Gabe may or may not let you in, but I'm sure anybody who's watching this show, he will let you in. So no worries there. And then, yeah.
All right. All right. Oh, we got another guest in. We got another guest in our comment section. Yeah, you preach. You preach, Mr. Stoner. Good job. Also, happy Veterans Day to all my brother and sister veterans out there. And also, it's Movember, right? You gonna grow a mustache, you guys? Oh,
We're
Will's
shaving
got us
them.
beat.
I'm working on it.
All right.
Working on it.
Okay. Okay. And
I already
also
shaved, so
because, well, sorry, tomorrow you can leave. But I wanted to also, most of us drivers are middle-aged men. That's just a demographic reality, right? Middle-aged or older. Middle-aged men have health issues like every other population group, and we're just as important, maybe not more important, but just as important as everyone else. So please take care of yourself. See your doctor regularly. And if you are sad, if you feel like you didn't used to feel all the time, it's okay to ask for help.
hmm
Yeah, that's what Movember's all about, is raising awareness for men's health, because so many of us gig workers are middle-aged guys and older. I don't know. I think you
And
might be, you're kind of entering that zone,
quiet you.
Chris.
I claim I'm 27. We're sticking to it.
Okay. All right. Well,
But-
you know, if that my father was middle-aged when he was 27, if you know what I mean. So
well, yeah, it's definitely a lot different now. But yeah, one of the things too, beyond that, even though the demographic, being an Uber and Lyft driver, you know, sitting around in your car for multiple hours on end, is actually very unhealthy, unfortunately.
Yep.
Sitting sedentary is not
Yep.
good. Getting up and moving around is always a good thing. So on top of that, when you're in between rides, giving one and waiting for the next, you know, every hour or so, try to pull over. I mean, if you're waiting for a ride, you shouldn't be driving anyways, because you're wasting gas at that point, and a ride's going to come in. So why not sit at the side of the road or in a parking lot? But get out of your vehicle for a couple of minutes. You know, stand up, walk around, do a little bit of stretching, and that's really going to help. Beyond that, eating healthier is going to be a lot better too. So don't just go out and get you know, Burger King or McDonald's or something else like that. But actually getting some healthy food, meal prepping or something, and that's going to help you,
pack a
especially
sandwich.
sitting
Yeah.
around the car or driving around people.
Pack
A lot
pack
better.
a sandwich, pack a sandwich, pack a salad.
Yep.
Get out of your car and help your passengers with their luggage, and open the goddamn door for them, you lazy bastards. Open
Well,
the goddamn door
I'm
for your
not-
passengers.
Hey, if
It's good for
if-
you.
if-
It's
if
good for you
Lyft-
because you're
well,
making you active.
if Black wants to come into my area where I can qualify for Uber Black and Lux Black and XL, then I would have no problem getting in the car or getting out of the car and opening, because I'm getting paid for that. But unfortunately, if you're working at regular and XL rates, not necessarily, and sometimes comfort, but you're not necessarily going to get out of your car and open the door.
I don't do it. I don't do it for them. I don't do it for them. I do it for me, because
Well, in that case, sure.
you need to be active. You need to be jumping around, picking things up.
Yep. And that's
squatting,
why, I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
and that's why kind of food delivery is a little bit better in that case,
running up them
because
steps. Yeah.
of the ability to get out of the car, go into the restaurant, you're standing there waiting, getting back into the car,
Mhm.
getting the food out. So, I mean, between the hour, you're getting up, moving around quite a bit.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, yeah, there's, I mean, just depends. So,
Mhm.
all right. So, just want to also introduce Will real quick.
Yeah. Let's talk about Will.
Hello, thanks for having me on.
Appreciate it.
Will, you've been on the EV. You're like an original gangster EV Uber and Lyft driver, right?
Well, yeah, I mean,
I mean,
I've been
in
doing
terms
it-
of our Facebook group.
yeah, I mean, I was probably like the first few hundred. Would you say something about that? Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know, but I was there since pretty much the beginning. So
Mm-hmm. Now, tell us how long. Well, it says on your profile there how long you've been driving Lyft, and you got a lot of rides under your belt, and you've been driving Uber also.
yeah, well, I started with Lyft, and then I joined Lyft, but before I was able to do Lux, I started with Uber, and then when I got my Tesla, I had Lux, so then I was just doing Lux, and then pretty much I was doing Lux for, and then Lyft got rid of Lux, and now I refuse to give standard rides with my Tesla. Like even extra comfort, like it's basically like $1 or $2 more than a regular Lyft. I'm like, okay, I absolutely no way am I doing this with my Tesla. I'm going to go black, and it's funny because Gabe was telling me to do it for a long time, and now
Mhm.
I'm finally gonna do it because I just cannot. The lift rates are just horrible. So,
But they're paying you
what?
$2 a ride for.
Yeah, two
Well,
extra dollars.
Oh
for
my
the
God,
Lux.
we don't have any
Yeah.
screenshots of some of Will's rides, but Will, like every time Will gets a good ride, he sends it to me. He
Oh
sends me a
yeah.
screenshot of it, and just to make me jealous, I assume,
Uh-huh.
just to drive me
Yeah.
insane.
Well,
Oh my
and
God, he's
so,
making so much money with Lux.
so
Yeah.
here's the thing. For those who don't know, Lux went out in replace of Extra Comfort, which is essentially, probably the same as Uber Comfort when it comes to pay. Difference between a regular ride or like an X and then the Comfort Extra Comfort. And Lux was a premier package. It wasn't as much as Black or Lux Black, and it's nowhere near as much as Black XL for the XL vehicles out there. But um, Gabe, actually before Will came on, Gabe and I were talking before we went live, and that was one of the things that I mentioned on Show Me the Money Club was for people who drive the Lux vehicles who are Lux qualified, you should be able to qualify for Lux Black with the exception of having a black car. So there's a lot of services out there that you could vinyl wrap your car. You could hydro dip or not hydro dip, but plastic dip your car. That's not as expensive as going and actually getting your car painted black.
Isn't it though?
So
I was getting quotes. It depends. Like if you did the prep work yourself, for your car, I think paint would be a lot cheaper than wrapping. Wrapping's thousands, but I haven't really dug into this.
well, it's surely a lot cheaper than getting your car painted.
What do you think, Will? Have you
Surely.
looked into it?
So
He's
yeah.
he's the
So
guy doing it.
Yep.
I okay. So I like the color of my car. To be honest, I really never wanted a black car.
No, who wants a
Uh,
black car?
I have a silver Tesla Model Y, and I really like it. But
Uh-oh.
ever since like they got, I didn't want to like do it permanently. I wanted to get a vinyl wrap because I think it's just when it comes time to sell my car, I
Yeah.
think I would rather just sell it at the original color rather than like paint it black and have it be like permanent. I'd rather
No,
just
it's
get
smart.
Yeah.
wrap.
Well,
Even-
that's the thing. You can either vinyl wrap it or you can also plasti dip it. Plasti dip is like kind of the in between. So it's still
Oh,
it's being applied like a paint. Like there's you get a sprayer and all that, but it's where
Do
you can
they
still peel it off.
do they pick your car up and like actually dip it into a big tank?
No, it's not hydro dipping. It's not hydro dipping.
Oh, okay.
Like plasti dipping,
They spray it
it's
on.
yeah. So
What is that?
a
I've
buddy
never.
of
I
mine
didn't even
actually
know.
does that for
I know
for
that
cars.
people do like bed liners, but I didn't realize you could do the whole car.
Yep. Yeah, and
nothing.
you could do a lot of different things. So you can make it look matte black, you could make it look shiny, you could do a lot of different things on it. So there's quite a bit. And that I mean what Will's doing is probably the best option because
Did you look
one,
into
it's going to
plastic,
protect.
Will?
Yes, I did. I looked into all, and honestly,
Sorry, Chris.
no, yeah, honestly, I looked into all. I just the vinyl wrapping. They said that the place that's gonna do my car is gonna take a week to get all the vinyl stuff done. But I'm going on a vacation next week, anyways, so they can have my car for while I'm on vacation. By the time I
Mhm.
get back, I'll be good to go. So, yeah, I looked into all the options. Vinyl wrapping, best case scenario. If you just want to like, I think it's the cheap option out of all of them. I mean, it's not
Mhm.
cheap, but in terms of most cost efficient, this would be the way to go. Honestly,
Yeah.
so
And one of the things is you're doing this for Lyft. You're doing this as a vehicle expense, which means save those receipts because we're almost at the end of the year, and that's going to help you when it comes to tax time. When it comes to that, so
yeah,
that's another little thing. But like I said, Gabe, I know had mentioned that to you, which you're doing, which is awesome. And then I had said that on Show Me the Money Club with Sergio, where people should try doing it that way, where they're still qualifying for it, especially with these expensive cars. I mean, I don't know how much you spent for your car, but it's still a hell of a lot more expensive than an average Corolla or something that would be the average Uber X Lyft regular ride um, type of car. So yeah, it's something that I think hopefully most drivers who are in this will be able to benefit from.
Will, I wanted to ask, I forgot to ask, will Uber or Lyft, will they allow a car that's been repainted to do black? Or does it have to be from the factory black?
So I did actually ask Lyft this question, and Lyft said, so long as my registration on my insurance also says black, they will allow me to do it.
Okay, when you get your commercial registration, it'll say black.
Yeah, see, it has to. So I basically have to upload a new picture of my registration. But so long as my insurance and my registration and everything that says the car is black, then I'm good to go.
Mhm.
So yeah, I
Nice.
did actually ask this because I was like, oh, will they allow me to do this if I do it like this? And they said, they didn't say no. They just said, as long as your registration says black, you're good.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, think about it. Quite a few people will paint cars to begin with. So, you know, if they're painting it from one color to another, and let's say you were never on the platform before, let's say I was painting a car from silver to black, or white to black, whatever it is, and then I decided, oh, I sell it to Gabe. Gabe never knew the original color, and then Gabe once took that car and went on the platform. You know, to him, it's a black car. To everybody else, it's a black car. When he registers it, it's going to be a black car because that's what he knows. So, you know, I mean, they don't need to know anything else. I mean, worst case, if it comes back saying it's failed, you can always go and get a new. You can forfeit your plates, get new plates, re-register the car, and register it black. And then that way, in their eyes, it's going to look like a brand new car coming onto your platform under your account. So whether it's Uber, whether it's Lyft, and then that way you can do it where it's black.
They did say that I might, depending on when I get it done, that I might have to re-upload it as like add a new vehicle to my account, and then basically like re-upload all my basically insurance. And so long as my insurance and my registration say black, then I'm good. But they said they can manually change it black. I haven't gotten that far yet, but I will talk to them. But they seem like they are going to be able when I officially my car black. But I haven't really gotten yet, so I don't really know uh every single step that I'm gonna need to take. But I'm basically almost there. So
Nice. Yeah, and you know, another benefit on top of it, you're protecting your paint. So yeah, when it does come time to sell your car, you know, you can peel it off and you got your original color back, and it's going to look just as good as it did. Actually, probably a little bit better than it does now, because what they're going to do is they're going to do a washing, they're going to do a decontamination on the car. So it's going to be as protected as it is today going into the future. And that's something what I'm looking at is the permanent ceramic coating for my car. So I'm looking at doing that, and it's essentially the same thing, just a little bit different because it's more of a ceramic base coating. So it'll still have the original paint color underneath that. It's just a little bit different.
sounds awesome. What kind of car do you have?
I got a 22 Honda Pilot.
Oh, Honda Pilot.
Yep.
Will, I wrote a song. I wrote a song for you.
Okay, let's hear it.
I see a Model Y and I want it painted black. No, there's no Lux anymore. I want to drive for black. David Risher screwed me. I can't make as many bucks. I have to drive standard Lyft because they took away Lux. It's a work in progress.
I like it though. It sounds.
Well, the one thing I'm gonna want you to do after once you do get back and the car is all set and ready to go, once you're doing black, let us know how it's going.
Yeah. Oh,
and
for sure.
And then the other side of the coin too is, will you be able to register on Uber Black?
See, that So I've actually spoken to some friends actually who drive Black here. I have a lot of Boston driver friends, and
Oh, good.
that it's actually easier to get on Lyft Black,
Mm,
Uber Black, because apparently Lyft Black doesn't have like a requirement to like how many drivers can sign up.
mm.
Uber in the meanwhile actually has like a cap number of drivers that they can have on Uber Black at one time. So apparently they open it like every few years based on
Wow.
how many black drivers there are on the system. So I will ask Uber. Apparently they said the best way to do is going into the hub and ask. So once I'm
Hmm.
on Black with Lyft, I will go into the hub and I will ask what the deal is with getting on Uber Black. But my car does qualify for Black on Lyft and Uber Black. So I will, yes, I will
Yeah.
definitely.
And then probably one of the most important things that I would ask, and Mr. Ferrari there also is asking or pointing out, um, is have you what kind of research have you done into what kind of business there's going to be for you after you put this investment into your car?
Yeah, so that is so right now I drive probably like I would say probably around like 30 to 35 hours a week. I'm most of those hours come on the weekend because I do have a full-time job.
Mhm.
But I will definitely probably be well, and I normally don't drive nights because I don't like the drunk crowd. But with Black, I have a feeling like the customers might be more respectful and might
Maybe.
To a
maybe.
point.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah,
I mean,
I
well,
think you'll have a
I'm going
better
to say it
time. Yeah.
depends. Like if you're driving out at night at the drunk hours, then yeah, that's probably going to be a little tough because somebody might want the Black experience, and there might be another friend there who's completely wasted. And we all
Er,
know how that happens on, pretty much any Uber or Lyft ride that you take at night during drunk time.
ye-
So yeah, you could run into that. But I mean, overall, yeah, absolutely. Any of these premier services like Black XL, you're going to have probably people who are going to be a little bit more respectful of the car because they're paying a lot more for the ride.
yeah, and I mean, honestly, like if I had like a Toyota Corolla, I'd have no problem doing regular Lyft. But it's just like I've had people get into my car with Uber and like, dude, how are you doing Uber X right now? I'm like, well, to be honest, I was doing Lyft Lux, and they're like, well, what happened with Lyft Lux? And I was like, well, Lyft removed it on the app, and now they basically downgraded me to standard rides, and I'm kind of forced to go with standard rides for now. But then I did tell them that they do still have Black, and I am working on getting to Black. And they're like, oh, well, that's good. But they're like, dude, how are you doing like all these like standard rides on like Uber X? I'm like, trust me, if I had it my way, I would rather be doing Lux right now. Because Lux
Mhm.
was because like you didn't need your car to be Black. It was like almost as good as Black without being like as good as Black. So it was like maybe like 10, I don't know, $5 cheaper than like a Black, but I was like still making basically the same money and killing it. But now I have to go all through this vinyl wrapping stuff just to get it Black, and it'll be worth it. I'm positive. So
Okay. All right. Looks
Yeah,
looks like we.
I think just the difference between what Black and a regular or extra comfort ride would be
mhm.
on that, you're probably making it up. I mean, I don't know if you did the math for the differences or how long it might take between those rides or whatnot.
It's huge. The price difference between Black and extra comfort are like 60, $70 difference. So yeah, just I mean that's what the passenger pays though. So
Yeah.
what is
Well, I
drive?
mean, okay, so let's say you're taking a typical average Lyft regular ride
Mhm.
versus a black Lux Black ride. What would the difference be on your end
Yeah.
about?
I uh
And I'm talking about an average ride. We all can say, yeah, every ride's gonna be different, but we all know what the averages are.
so if I were to take like a $15 or like a 15-minute Lyft ride in my market, I would probably be around like probably like $12-11, to be honest. But when I was doing Lux, like a 15-minute ride on like like a Lux was probably like 40 or $35.
Okay. So yeah, Sergio just said about 3 times. So yeah, you're looking at that. So that then
So much money out there.
essentially, oh yeah,
There's
essentially all you
so
got to
much
do
money out
is
there, and they're
figure out how
so
long you
stingy.
are going to do your Uber and Lyft riding for or driving for, and then how long that car might last,
Yeah.
and then just look at the difference in between the prices that you would get on a regular ride versus a black ride, and that's going to pay. I mean, the first 100 rides or so may pay for your um, going to black,
Yeah.
the paint and the vinyl wrapping and all that. But after that, then you're back into that tier. So now you had a little bit of a cost problem where it kind of eat you up. But in the long run, it could really easily pull itself ahead, especially
I
with the type of car you drive and the
yeah,
cost.
in the beginning I will be at a net loss, but with how good the money is with Lux Black, I am fairly confident that I will be able to make the money back in no time, and then
Mhm.
be in the net positive, and then yeah, so I'm confident that it's going to work out. So
Awesome. So yeah, there's a couple of things that I'd love to know and follow up with you on after this. First, how easy was it for the transition to go into black when it comes to signing up on black for Lyft? I'd like to know that when it comes down, as well as how many rides are you seeing, and then talk to a couple of the passengers when you get to there and ask, were they originally using Lux? Have they gone up to Lux Black because they wanted the difference versus a regular ride or an extra comfort? And then let us know some of the differences there because I'd really love to know overall.
yeah, because I think actually that's a great point, because no more Lux. They got like extra comfort, which is like, okay, you're gonna get like a Toyota Corolla, but then there's like no more like Lux. So you basically jump up like from extra comfort all the way to black, like a huge difference. But if there's no more Lux option, they'll have no choice but to order a black if they want like a nicer ride, which I'm curious to know. Like, I've never done black, so I don't know how it was like when Lux was implemented. So people have told me like they're seeing like an increase in demand in black rides because there's no more Lux. So when I get there, I will definitely give you a laydown of how it's going. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely something I'd be interested in. I'm sure quite a few people, especially Lux drivers who cannot drive for Lux anymore because of that and don't qualify for black, what it would be like. So that would be awesome to know and kind of find out.
Yeah.
And I'm
Thanks.
sure a lot of the black drivers are like, dude, fuck off right now. Don't tell them that. And it's like, look, if there's more uptick, hey, everybody's got to get it. So
I've actually been told by some of my friends, like, dude, come on, man, you're screwing us all right now. I'm like, no, I feel like I'm not. I'm just sharing like my story. I'm not, here to spill all the secrets or whatever. I'm just here to just share my experiences. That's all.
mhm.
Yeah.
Mr. Gambit's got a good thing right here. He said higher price cars have to deal with the game of prices of the higher tiers. Changing, you got to have a few private clients to offset the garbage rides or garbage rates.
Yeah.
And I mean that's true right there too. So like, if you are you going to look at going into private clientele as well too?
Yeah. Well,
Because you can now. Because
yes.
he'll have a livery license, whatever they call it in Massachusetts, and insurance, and he can do it on his own. What
Yes.
what does insurance? What did you get a reasonable quote for insurance?
So yeah, so that's another thing. So in Massachusetts, and Atlanta, I think are the only two states where they require livery insurance, which is basically like an extra form of insurance more than like your personal auto insurance. It basically like is fully covers you with like passengers and
Yeah.
and stuff. So it's the full deal. So I'm paying like around like 1,450 for my personal auto policy right now, and in Massachusetts, I got a quote for like 4,500.
It's
So
for 6 months.
yeah, for 6 months. So I'm paying around like $3,000 extra a month. So, and then you include the wrap in that. It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I'm hoping what I'm hoping I can do is use like Lyft Black and hopefully Uber Black if they allow me on to recruit some private clients and kind of hopefully turn away from Uber and Lyft as my job, and hopefully can start getting private clients and charge kind of like my own rates,
Mhm.
make
Yeah.
even more than what I'd probably make on like a Lux Black with
Sure.
Lyft
Yeah.
without the best. That's the best part. So yes, that will definitely happen, but I have to start with Lyft and then hopefully can get some private clients along. Yes. Yeah.
Nice.
Right.
All right. Did you have anything more that you want to talk to Will with, or
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah, but
Uh, Will,
he
if you
can,
want to hang out a little bit
yeah.
longer, I mean, like I said, I'd love to hear the follow up on that because I think a lot of Lux drivers would like to know. I actually just texted Sergio saying, "Hey, you might be a good person to have on behind the wheel to kind of explain, that a little bit more after that's all done."
Sure.
So maybe he'll be reaching out to you, but we'll see. I just texted him that, but yeah, it's real interesting, and I'm actually happy to have talked to somebody who is in the process of doing that, or at least thinking about that, and going to try to switch from Lux to Lux Black without actually having to buy a whole new car that is black. So that's awesome to see, and I hope that people who are watching either this or the follow up, or following the story itself can help some of those drivers who have these very expensive cars, and then all of a sudden they're at the whim of what Lyft wanted to do, saying, "Oh, we're getting rid of Lux now, and we're going to replace it with extra comfort, and here's $2 extra per ride for the next 30 days, 60 days, or something like that to
These
help
guys.
offset."
Ah,
I mean, come on, how's that going to offset anything?
momsers.
And the worst part is, to be honest, like with my Tesla Model Y, it's like they put me in a category where it's like I can only do Lyft and extra comfort. They don't separate Lyft and extra comfort. It's just Lyft and extra comfort. So with Lyft, I'm basically getting all the Lyft rides and no extra comfort rides. It's basically like when I had like my I was able to separate between like Lyft and Lux. So I was able to do like Lux only. But now that I've been downgraded, it's been like Lyft and extra comfort. Like I can't even do the extra comfort. It's basically just like no choice. So I've pretty much switched off Lyft and only driven Uber. So
That's good. That's a good strategy in general. If I didn't get
Yep.
paid the $150 EV bonus in California, there's no way I would do Lyft. Like they offer me these $3 rides. I'm like, who does these?
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, Lyft's $150 EV bonus in California is pretty nice.
I wish we had nice.
I know, right? That should be across the whole country, not just in California. That might help me. That will help might help me make the switch to EV.
They're only doing it because the state of California has a special thing. So
Mm.
that's Lyft is
How
much more into lip service than actually putting up some money.
Yeah.
many for that?
Sorry, you cut out a little bit.
I said, how many rides did they make you do for that bonus?
50.
Oh, 50?
Yeah. 50. And you get the whole week. So
That's
it's pretty
pretty
good. It's pretty good. Yeah. That's why I'm just doing rides that I can usually do 50 rides on one charge, like if I have to. So that's it. That's
Nice.
all I have to drive. I don't take anything that's going to go more than 5 miles from pickup to drop off. Yeah, or
Nice.
from
And that's
where
smart.
from where I get the ping to where I
Mhm.
drop off. Yeah, it's.
Do you use Lyft Stay Within Area Filter or no?
Yep. Oh my God, I
good.
love it. Love it. But you know
Oh,
what?
it's
I
perfect.
wish they had a 3-mile radius or 2-mile radius. I'd even do a 1-mile radius. That would I love that. But 5 miles is too much. 5 miles can put me all the way out in Treasure Island if I get it, which sucks. Anyway, we should move on, don't you think?
Yep. So Will,
Keep it
if you
rolling.
would like to stay on, you can. If you wanted to get off now, that's up to you. We're gonna be.
I am happy to. I guess I'll just stay on. What are we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do we got? We got about another
All right, well-
25, 30 minutes. Yeah.
Yep, and we have another guest coming on
Oh,
right
there he
now.
is.
Matt.
There's Matt. Wow, we're
Matt.
okay. We're gonna have to
Matt, how
skip
you
a bunch of
doing?
Stuff. Hey, Matt.
Hey guys.
You I don't know where you are, but you're gonna have to
Are you at a
get rid of that
Starbucks?
music back there because we can't have music on the live stream. So you might have to switch around a little bit.
Okay.
Did you lock yourself in the
Well,
bathroom?
it's not. No, never mind. It's not really music. Okay.
Okay. It was just
Sorry, I
background-
heard
background
something
noise.
and then I wanted to cut that off just in case it was music because YouTube has an issue with music.
No, it's not. It's not music. It's
Okay.
it's chatter. Hold on. I'll get to a quieter place. One
Oh,
second.
here I can adjust, reduce his background noise.
Oh.
Oh,
Look
even
at that.
better.
How's that? That sounds better.
All right. Well, Matt, thank you for coming on. Appreciate it.
Matt, what's up, man?
So, well, thanks for letting me on, guys. I mean, what I really, and Gabe, when I see your likeness in the back of your car, it really,
Yeah.
it's really something.
I'm bending the rules of space and time. But Matt, we haven't asked you. So tell us, because you're a member of our EV Lyft and Uber drivers forum, but also you work, or you're doing some research or work in the EV space. Can you tell us what you do?
Yeah, so I'm doing some research in the EV space because I'm thinking about developing an app to help rideshare drivers specifically better navigate the charging ecosystem. And when I talk to folks like you, Gabe,
Me.
I think about what I've learned about and what I've experienced myself navigating the charging ecosystem, and I just think, well, I must be an idiot, and I'm the only one who thinks it's complicated and who winds up, paying too much for charging.
I call people that don't take advantage of off-peak rates idiots.
Yeah.
An email to Matt, and Matt's like, "Oh, that seems a little harsh." I'm like, "You're right. That did seem kind of harsh." Like, they probably have their reasons. But anyway, go on, Matt. Sorry.
It's true. It's true. And I mean, I think if you're careful and if you do things right, you definitely can avoid the peak. And the peak is bad because, like, when I look at it, you're talking about the difference between like a $50 charge and an $18 charge, right?
It's
like
insane.
Between peak and off.
Oh my God. When you told me about San Diego's electric rates, I was like, no, it can't be that high. And then I went and I looked at the San Diego gas and electric rate cards. It's like with transmission costs, their peak hour costs are like almost 80 cents a kilowatt hour.
Right.
That is bananas. And you multiply 80 cents times a 66 kilowatt hour battery like I've got, and you get $52.80 to go 250 miles. That's totally bananas.
Yeah, and I would think if you're charging every day or every other day, or who knows if you need to charge mid shift, that's going to eat into your weekly profit picture or your daily profit picture, however you look at it. So that's my big question for the group. Like, how many people wind up in this situation?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we want to let our people in the group know that Matt has some incentives. If you'll give them some of your time.
Sure.
Tell us about that.
Yeah. So I already did some like interviews with some of the people in the group, and they were great. Like over Zoom, and happy to do that if it's convenient. Or I'm going to be in the Southern California area next week, or if we want to do Zoom or phone call or whatever's convenient for you. So I'd love to talk to folks about this and hear about your experiences. Like, do you wind up in this situation, or are you really on it like Gabe? Do you never make a mistake? Do you never pay $50 when you could avoid it?
I make mistakes.
And I will, I think for conversations with Gabe and the rest of the group, it seems like, if we're going to spend about half an hour on the call, it doesn't have to be that long if you don't have that kind of time, but we'll say like $1 a minute to talk to each other. And if you don't want money outright, we could pay each other in credits at what your favorite charging station, right? So
that was an idea I had. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I want to help everyone avoid these charges. I don't want to be labeled an idiot.
No, I wasn't saying you. Hopefully,
I've done it. I
mean, if you have to, you have to.
Yeah.
And the utility companies, you don't automatically get those off-peak discounts. You have to sign up for a specific program. Sometimes they want you to actually install a whole new meter to do it. So it's not cheap. Sometimes it's not easy, and sometimes it's not cheap. Will, where do you charge?
I actually charge at home 99.9% of the time. Cause I live about 30 work, and it takes me probably 40 minutes to get back.
Mm-hmm.
Where I have used like chargers and like third-party chargers, but most of my time when I'm not charging at home is spent on a supercharger. In my area, San Diego, that's a lot. Not as much as it's there, but it's pretty cheap in my area. If honestly, for like, if I were to charge my car for probably like 25 to 30 minutes at a supercharger, it'd probably cost me like $13-14. So it's really not that bad in my area, but it's kind of crazy to hear like what some of the other rates are around the country, because that's insane.
Yeah. Well, those San Diego rates. So if you do get their off-peak rate, you pay 28 cents a kilowatt hour. So it's a lot less, and I pay about 26. I think I said, Matt. So and then there's some places where like their off-peak rate is like 6 cents a kilowatt hour, and their regular rate's only 12 cents anyway. Like, Chris, do you know your local utility rate off-peak?
We don't have off-peak or on-peak hours, so it's always one charge.
Always the same, really?
Yep.
Huh.
And it's I think it's 14 cents a kilowatt hour right now.
Oh, because it's all hydro, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, sort of.
Is it all from Niagara Falls? You're right there.
Sort of. Actually, here's the crazy thing. So you think being right by Niagara Falls, like literally down the street. I mean, I take one road and I could get up to Niagara Falls. You think it would be right there and it would be the hydropower, but no, we actually get our power from a power plant in Pennsylvania, and most of that power goes to New York City from the falls.
It's
cool, you tell me how that works.
Because New York City wants to maintain and pay for the infrastructure for renewable energy, and Buffalo doesn't. That's the difference.
It's called poor planning and bad policy making on New York State and New York City and the Western New York region. So, but either way, I think last I looked, it was 14 cents or so per kilowatt hour. It's probably going up though. I forget what it is. I think it's going up to like 17. But solar might be an option.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks, Matt. Thanks for participating in our group, and I'm sure I speak for everyone in the group where we're happy to help you. Because if your mission is to make things easier for us, like, we want to work with you for sure. And and if you want to stick around, you can hang out, or sounds like you got stuff to do, so we'll let you go. Unless
Yeah.
there's something else you wanted to let us know about.
That was my big question for now. But
Okay.
I'll let you guys get back to it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let us know what else we can do.
All right,
Right.
awesome. Thanks
Thanks,
a lot,
Matt.
guys. Thanks.
See you, Matt. All right. So, should we talk about my Volvo? We don't have time for that.
Oh, we can.
My mom bought her first Volvo in 1972.
Did he get a new car?
Did I get? No, I didn't get a new car, but I actually put a deposit on this thing. Yeah.
That's nice, actually.
It's swanky,
So
right?
what is making you want to go with the EX30 over something else?
The EX30 I'm a little conflicted about it. So I have to get in it and drive it and see what's up before I actually buy it. But I did put a deposit on it, and then in a few weeks I'll be able to actually order it. So what's interesting about this car is that it offers a spacious interior. It's shorter than your average EV, which is important to me because my garage was built in 1925 with the rest of my building, and it was designed for Model Ts, which I don't know if you know this. Model Ts are only 4 feet wide, and so my garage is like. But can I tell you one nice thing about having a small garage? If you're if you're a rideshare driver, I know to the millimeter how wide my car is. So when I'm in city traffic and I need to squeeze through a traffic jam or something, I know exactly the space that I can fit through, and it freaks my passengers out, but they always appreciate it if I can kind of like wind my way through some barriers and around some stopped cars, and like say there's 2 cars stopped, in a line, and I want to get across the other lane. I can like squeeze through them, and there's like this much from my mirrors, and the people in the car are like, oh, and then my passengers like, ah, and I just. So that's one nice thing about having a small garage.
I like the sound effects.
Yeah. Those are exactly the sounds.
Bloosh.
And we should have like little balloons, like with the little like like on Batman, sploosh. But this car that's the thing. Like all the manufacturers assume that Americans only want big ass cars, and we don't. We don't all want big ass cars. I like having a smaller car, and this one is about the size of my Bolt. It's got more power than the Bolt. It has better efficiency than the Bolt, and I know that because that efficiency right there, 26.5. Is that the efficiency? Yeah, that's the efficiency. That's how many. That's how many, or is it the charge peak? Anyway, its efficiency is better than my Bolt's because the EPA, that's better than my Bolt's EPA rated efficiency. And in actual use where I live, because it's a mild climate, my efficiency is actually much better than that. So this car, I should be getting over 300 miles range out of it. And also it has much better charging equipment. So it'll fast charge in about 2 or 3 times faster than the Bolt. So if I do need to fast charge, it'll be much faster, much better. And so also, and then, the best part, this car the sticker price is 35 grand. And
I saw that. That's not too bad.
That's really good.
Yep. And you apply the federal tax credit, which you can get if it's commercial use. Then now it's 27.5, and that's still the trade-in value of my car, although I dent the crap out of my cars. My car looks like it was rolled off of a cliff. But it's I should be able to pick up this car for not too big an investment.
Not too shabby for the 26.5 minute for up to 80%. That's pretty nice.
Yeah. And Devo says that the EV6 looks super wide. Actually, Devo, I got an EV6 into my garage. It's actually only it's like 6 inches wider than the Bolt, but that's 3 inches on a side. That's okay. I was able to get a Mach E into my garage, but that's about as big, and a Model Y. That's about as big a car as I could get in there. But then I can't fit my motorcycles in front of it. That's the real issue. Because my wife told me I can have as many motorcycles as I can fit in the garage. So at this point, it's 2.
So that means, whoa, you're not doing it right if you can fit your car in the garage.
Yeah. Right. That's what I'm
You
saying.
got to get a few more motorcycles, so then that way you cannot fit into the garage. But
Oh,
here's
but I
the other
have,
thing.
but I
You
got
know,
to charge overnight. So I have to.
here's
park in the
here's the
garage.
question.
Yeah.
You know how they got you know how in New York City, when at parking ramps, they got the things you drive onto and then they lift them up. They have them for bikes as well too.
Oh yeah.
You should get something in your garage, so
Oh,
then
yeah.
that way you could put your bike on that, raise it
No,
up, and then that
no,
way
it's-
you could fit a
it's-
bigger car in your
No,
garage.
It's only an 8-foot ceiling. I have to.
Oh,
It would have to be
Well-
able to crush the car down like an aluminum can, so that it could fit the second car.
you could probably get in there. I mean, the bike isn't gonna.
Maybe
it's not
2
6 feet.
convertibles.
It's only, you know, a bike is what, 36 inches high for the most
Yeah.
part. So you got 3 feet. Then you got the
Oh,
thing on top of it.
put the motorcycle up there on the thing.
Yeah, you put
Oh,
the motorcycle
Oh.
up, and then you
Oh.
can fit your car in further.
Okay. I don't know. My garage space is pretty packed. Like when I have a garage, when I have the car and motorcycle, and they also have storage shelves, and then my toolboxes, and it's like everything like fits in. It's like when I take everything out, it's like unpacking a stereo from the box with the styrofoam. It's like everything has to come out in order.
And it's got to come out right, all in order, specifically the way it's supposed to.
Yeah. Anyway, but this car also, but some things that don't make me want to get it is that it's made in China. So I don't know. My phone's made in
How long
China.
does it
It's
take
okay.
for Uber and Lyft to acknowledge new car by an automaker like the EV30? Honestly,
They're
it's
pretty fast.
got to come down to how long it's going to take them to put it into the system. Sometimes it can be up to 6 months. I've seen some cars that are brand new cars that can't make it onto the platform because they didn't update their systems yet. So, and it was about like 6 months after they've been released. So, yeah, it usually is pretty quick, but sometimes, yeah, it could be a little bit longer. Good question.
Okay. All right.
All right. Let's
what's
go on.
we
Let's
have
talk about
enough
these
people here to
goddamn
vote.
costs.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I'm just going to beat this drum because I want to beat it every week, because one of the main objections to EVs is like cost related or it's range related, right? People are like, I have to drive 400 miles a day. There's no way I can make a living unless I drive 400 miles and my Prius goes 600 miles before I have to fill it up. And then it only takes me 10 minutes. And, while you're sitting at the charger, I'm making all this money. And like I said, I can do 50 rides on a full charge because I limit how much I drive. And I'm not telling people that you should also limit your driving, but I am telling people, if you don't calculate your per mile cost, you don't know how much money you're making on those long rides. So are those long rides really as good as you say they are?
Here's the problem. With upfront earnings, you now have rate rebalancing, which means the rides that are a little bit shorter or about under 10 to 15 minutes is going to pay you a little bit more than rides that are after that, which, if you're taking longer rides, could be up to a 30% haircut compared to free upfront earnings. This is something that we've seen time and time again. So first off, there's a lot of people out there who are not true to themselves. First, last week, or not even last week, Tuesday, Sergio and I were talking about the Uber's earnings call and what they were saying, where drivers are averaging 33 per active hour, which means active hour or engaged time, which is P2 and P3, periods 2 and 3. So from the moment that you have that ping request and you accept it, to the moment that you drop somebody off, that's considered active time. That is the time that they're coming out and saying that drivers on average are earning 33 per hour. Sergio said, look, we want the information. Send me your earning statements and let's figure it out. And he called me up yesterday. We were on the phone for a little while, saying that the majority of people are showing at least 33, sometimes 40 or 50 per hour, per active hour. And I think there's a lot of common misconception by people just like jumping on the bandwagon to complain more so than not, and not really looking at the trueness of the situation. So a default argument, as you said, for EVs is, oh, I need to drive 400 miles. Let's look at your mileage, what you're tracking on your mileage per day. how many miles are you truly driving per day? Is it 100 miles per day? Is it 200 miles a day? Is it 300 miles a day? Because I guarantee you, you're probably not driving 400 miles unless you're taking a really long trip somewhere. And, you know, if you're doing Uber for, you know, 10, 12, 14 hours, you might be doing 300 miles, you may not. And, you know, if you average out how many miles you really do, that's going to let you know what range you may actually need in an EV if you're looking at an EV. If you're doing on average, or even at the maximum, let's say 250 miles per day, then you're limiting yourself by your own doubts and your own self-limiting beliefs there, because you're not actually looking at the hard fact, the hard data. Now, yeah, you might not get a car that's, or you might have an EV that says, oh, we have 275 miles on its range, but in actuality, it might be like 210 because of, you know, quality differences.
Well,
But
for one thing, you're not going to charge your car to 100%
no,
every day.
but
You're going
but
to
I
charge
mean,
it to 90. Yeah, so that's
yeah,
going to limit your range.
and
And also, you don't
that's
want
the
to
same
you don't
thing.
want to discharge it. You don't want to discharge it past maybe 25%, right? Because both
Yeah,
those things are hard on the batteries. And I know Will
but
is very careful with his battery.
Yes,
well,
I
no, and that's a. Oh, go ahead, Bill.
So Will, what's your functional range like, and is it enough?
honestly, it's not bad. So I have only charged my car to 100, probably like honestly, probably like 3 times within like a year and a half for like those really long like trips that I'm making. But honestly, um, daily average commute, I charge my car to 80% every day, pretty much, and I can get like 260, 265 on an on an 80% like.
Discharging how much?
Are you asking me? Sorry, what's the question?
Yeah, how far do you run the battery down when you're
Oh,
saying the projected range is 260, and do you think that's accurate? And
yeah,
then
I say
how
that.
close do you get to zero?
Not as close as you would think. So I'm able to drive about like 25, 30 miles to and from work, and I'm also able to drive some Uber or some Lyft if I want. And I normally come home with like 115, 120 ish. You
And
know,
and that's after working how many hours, you think?
and that's after working like 3 or 4 hours probably.
Plus the 60 miles of commuting.
Yeah, plus the 60 miles of commuting. So really, it's actually quite good.
And
Um,
that brings up a good point. There is a subset of driver who really does need like 400, 500 miles of range in a day, and these are the drivers that are driving anywhere from 30 to 100 miles from a place where they live. It might be a rural area to the place where they prefer to work because they know that's where it's busy and where they'll make the most money. And and those guys, they need 100 to 200 miles of range even before a passenger gets in the car. So that's probably a subset of driver where EVs are really not going to make much sense.
Yeah,
yeah,
and I mean, I think the majority of people need to look at, you know, what their true driving habits are, and not just kind of jump on and say, oh, well, you know, blah blah blah. This isn't going to work because I need this 400-mile range, and it's like
They
you
don't
may
even.
not even need that.
I mean, they say that not only will it not work for them, it won't work for anybody, which means that EVs are some kind of woke scam designed to take their money and something, something, something. And it's just ridiculous. We've got thousands of drivers on our forum, maybe. So most of them are bots, but some of them are drivers, and these guys are making good money driving EVs.
Mhm.
And we just here at the RideShare Guy want our readers to know, like, this is another tool that you have to fight back against the system that Uber and Lyft have set up to keep you from making a living wage. But you can fight
Yeah, I
back
mean,
by selecting equipment that meets your needs.
yep. And I think it's not the full solution, but it's part of the solution. So you got the solution of the energy crisis. Gas is one thing. We still need gas. I mean, the world runs on gas. Let's be real. With so many different things, if you took away gas
runs on oil,
or
yeah.
oil,
Yeah.
you would literally destroy the earth as we know it, because everything that we know would be pretty much gone for the time being until they could find new technology to be able to replace that. EVs, I think, are just part of the solution. There's other solutions out there that are, maybe in their infancy or still theoretical. Something like hydrogen. I mean, Toyota's kind of chasing that. I think Honda is also coming out with a
Do you know,
hydrogen engine.
Last month I would have. So Chris, last month I would have jumped into your shit about hydrogen because it takes 2 times as much energy to produce the hydrogen energy, right?
Well, that's where the theoretical side of things are.
Right, but they are just, there's something now called white hydrogen, which is just like concentrations of actual naturally occurring hydrogen that you can actually mine out of the ground, like deep underground in certain kinds of rock formations. And they're actually finding this stuff in like Northern Europe and the United States and places like you wouldn't have expected it. So this hydrogen could actually be an amazing solution.
Honestly, nuclear is another option. I mean, let's look at a sub. These nuclear powered subs,
they go for 30 years.
They don't need to stop. Yeah. They don't need to stop. They continue going. So like there's a lot of things out there. Yeah, there's a lot of things out there. It's just the ingenuity and the resources and the thought process and everything behind it. So I think the problem is a lot of it's become so politicized. Like literally every issue, anything you talk about is highly politicized. So it's either one side or the other. And it's like, it can't be like that when it comes to certain things. And I think when it like EVs, if you want the EV, if you want to, try to cut costs and you see it as the way, you're actually doing the true math and figuring out that an EV might be more worth it for you versus a gas powered counterpart. Or like in Will's case, where he's looking at Lux going away, he has a Lux vehicle, but because it's no longer, now looking at painting his car black, yes, it's going to be a higher upfront cost because of the final graphic that he's going to have to put on it. But in the long run, how is it going to do? So, that's what I think most people need to really kind of stop worrying about the politicalization of everything and look more at the individual necessity or need or reason or whatever it might be to actually see where things can go.
Okay. All right. Here's one of our viewers, Mr. D's Nuts. And he says that he charges at home. And then he commutes 45 miles to do his rideshare work. And then the commute only costs him time and miles. And then James, do you have to charge in the middle of your shift? Or do you have enough range? I guess would be my question, but it sounds like he's making it work. Yep. Should we talk about Hertz?
Yeah, absolutely. So we talked about this too on Show Me the Money Club, but clearly this is more the easy money style. But
you did talk about it, but I wanted to add something because I felt a lot of the media coverage didn't dig very deep into the earnings call. And I thought this guy, Steven Scher, said something very interesting because the headline is, electric cars are so expensive to maintain and repair that Hertz can't make any money on them. And because in the early days, the Tesla Model S uses an aluminum body. And aluminum is very challenging to repair. So not a lot of body shops will do it. So most of the times you just have to take it to the Tesla dealer and they fix it, and it's not cheap. The Model 3 and the Model Y are made of steel, except for the hoods, I think. And they are easy to repair, but you still have to rely on Tesla for a lot of parts. And so, yeah, they are expensive to repair, but also, in the second paragraph where he's talking about this, he says, let me a bit more context on the damage equation. First, while conventional maintenance remained lower relative to comparable ICE vehicles, the higher collision and damage repair on EVs continued to weigh on our results and negatively impacted EBITDA. And me and Sergio, we have our thing about EBITDA. For context, collision and damage repairs on an EV can run twice. But then he says, collision damage repairs on it can often run about twice as that associated with a comparable combustion engine vehicle. I don't know, comparable, like, so a BMW is cheaper to fix this kind of dent than a Tesla? Maybe. But then he says, second, when the car is salvaged, we must crystallize any difference between our carrying value and the market value of the car. The MSRP declines in EVs over the course of 23 have driven the fair market value of our EVs lower as compared to last year. So what I'm saying is that their loss of market value, not the actual costs of repairing these things, are what's souring Hertz on the Teslas, right? Because they need to show their shareholders and their investors that they're profitable. They use that with EBITDA because in actual GAAP earnings, they're not. So they use EBITDA, and EBITDA needs to, like, you add up all your losses and all your assets, right? So what happened was they paid way too much. They put in an order of 100,000 cars, and then I guess they paid for them all at once. And then they bought them when the Tesla Model 3 was like ridiculously expensive. It was like $50,000 for the base model, and now they're only $39,000. And then the resale value of these cars went from $50,000, and I know they were $50,000 because I sold my Model 3 for $50,000, even though I paid $40,000. But now they're $39,000, and you can buy a used one from Tesla for $25,600, right? So they have lost, sounds like hundreds of millions, maybe close to $1 billion. I don't know. I'm not good at math, but they've lost a
yeah. You'd have to look at their
Can we just say
in order?
Can we just say fuck ton? I don't know if it's a metric.
They definitely lost a metric fuck ton.
They lost more than at least a metric fuck ton of money on these Teslas, but not because the Teslas are an inherently expensive or whatever product. It's because of the decisions they made to buy an overvalued asset and then use that to write against their profit and loss statements, however they jigger their.
You know, I mean, the thing is, though, that's not just Tesla. That's pretty much all, especially used car prices. You look at the used car price market, and it's dropping.
Yeah, Toyotas, Toyota hybrids. Oh God.
It's so much easier now. And I mean, since everything came back online, you know, parts and shipments and everything's been fulfilled and fulfilling. And I think it's just been better overall. And that's what's causing the deflation of the cost of vehicles, the ability to get vehicles, and, you know, just the cost of resale and used vehicles.
Yeah. Oh my God. So wait, this is just going back to the charging cost question. Mr. D's nuts. He has a 4 cent a kilowatt hour off peak rate. That's like fucking free. That's like paying nothing.
I wonder if that's solar included on that or something.
Holy crap. No, there's some states. I mean, some states have it like you 14. Do you know what your rate is? 14 cents a kilowatt hour. My rate, my standard rate here for PG&E is 36 cents a kilowatt hour. So,
dude, you got to get out of San Fran.
Well, we're in Oakland, but whatever. It's the same thing.
Same difference. It's still California.
Well, I like it here. Anyway, 4 cents times, say it's a 70 kilowatt hour battery. It only costs him $2.80 to go 300 miles. It's like he's living in the 1950s. It's so unfair.
If only. You know, I remember when
oh my God.
I remember at the start of 2020 when gas just
$2.80.
Oh, no. For you, maybe. That's what I got. That's what I fill up my tank right now at is $2.78.
A gallon. No. I'm saying $2.80 for the whole tank.
Oh,
Chris.
Yeah.
For the whole tank.
Well, when this first started, I got gas for like 60 cents a gallon.
What? Where?
In
1963?
No, in 2020.
What?
When
it was only 60 cents a gallon?
In April, yeah. There was when everything crashed because everybody was told to stay at home, so gas prices just dropped.
Yeah.
And there was this one place in Salamanca, which is, I mean, it's a further out way to go by far. Compared to like going to a different Indian reservation to get tax-free gas.
Oh, that's right. You go to because you go to the res. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and they were selling it for 60 cents
that.
a gallon. And I'm like, I have to go down there just to say I got it for 60 cents a gallon.
Oh, and you can play
And
Keno, and then you can play Keno while you're waiting for your tank to fill.
well, if they got it there. But when I pulled in, there was somebody there who had 4 oil tank or 4 55-gallon oil drums that they were filling up. And I was looking at it. It was like 400 gallons, and it was like $260.
Go sell it. Go resell it, man. You know?
Oh, you could.
Insanity.
I mean, well, at that point, why not hold on to it? And then, you know,
Gas
that
and
spike
cigarettes.
happens, and then everything just goes to shit. So what it was like $6, $7, $8 for you. Here it hit like, I think the peak I paid was probably like $4.20, $4.25. But that's going to the Indian reservation, not too far from me.
I think we can skip the AV fails today, don't you?
Yeah, sure.
Because you covered it on Show Me the Money Club, and I wanted to crow about Cruise's permit being pulled, but that's a whole can of worms. Doesn't really have that much to do with electric rideshare. But
No,
we're always worried.
I mean,
about being
the one
replaced
thing
by
you could talk
robots.
about is the Uber and Waymo joint partnership that just happened a couple weeks ago, or what, a week and a half ago it was announced.
I doubt I could do it justice the way you and Sergio did. You covered that pretty thoroughly on the show, and I urge anyone watching or listening to go and check out the podcast, check out the video, because
that
Sergio
was,
and Chris got pretty in depth, and you also
that was last week.
And then you talked to the journalist, the tech. Is he TechCrunch or Wired?
He's
journalist?
at I believe it's CNBC. I can't remember.
But I listened to his podcast, and
but it's Alex.
Yeah, I listened to the podcast where he was interviewing Waymo's CEO, and I don't want to disparage Alex, but I would probably have taken a more journalistic approach to interviewing her than he did, because he went into the interview with these are the greatest things ever. Well, who the fuck wants a person driving a car anyway? They're dangerous.
Hey, well, you know what? Here's the thing. Hey, he's like the top podcast in his niche, so he's kind of got it set.
Well, he's a sharp guy, and it's a very entertaining podcast. Do you remember how I used to have?
Will
Have I ever told you that my favorite analogy? Oh, you're in your car, right on.
Yes.
Chris, have I ever told you my favorite analogy about autonomous vehicles and safety is like if it saw a little kid standing by the road with a ball, with a soccer ball, or it saw Peter Dinklage standing by the side of the road holding a severed human head, it would treat both cases the same way.
Yep.
Right? Because in the eye of a computer, it doesn't know the difference. But and you drive differently in those two situations, right? You'd slow down for the kid, but I would probably speed up to get away from Peter Dinklage.
Or I'd probably hit him. Or you could take the third option and just rear right
before
into
he decapitates someone else. Yes, absolutely. And it turns out that the DMV, the California DMV, agreed with me, because apparently there's all this undisclosed data about where they were doing off-street testing. Cruise was doing off-street testing around child-sized mannequins, and they actually hit one of the mannequins at 28 miles an hour, brushed it with the mirror of the car, because it just didn't see the kid. They're not programmed to, they're not people. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Artificial intelligence at this level is not people. It's not thinking. It's not reasoning. All it can do is just respond to pre-programmed responses, to pre-programmed situations. It can't,
it's not sentient.
It can't figure things out. But if we make them sentient, do you want your car to be sentient?
No, because it'll be like, I know what you were watching last night.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have to have a little talk. Oh, what was that?
What if you fart? What if you fart inside your intelligent car? And it's like,
you watched that South Park episode where it was the It was the one where it goes into the future and they're all like the Alexa is like an AI bot and she's like having like these women spat. It's hilarious.
Yeah, but
If
I
you
mean,
have if
it's
you have the
funny.
ability to go watch it, it's hilarious.
I will. But yeah, I mean, do we really like what are we doing here? Like, what's the goal of this? And is it really worth it? We're spending more money. We're spending more money figuring out autonomous vehicles than we are like curing cancer or ending child poverty or like
Mhm.
things the world really needs. Instead, we're spending billions, maybe trillions of dollars so that people don't have to drive drunk. Like, I'm like, really? Like, is it really
That's what Uber and
is
Lyft's
that
for. We already have that answer.
is that really the biggest challenge to humanity right now? We have to drive our own cars? Seriously?
No, I think there's way more pressing issues that need to be looked at and searched. And if there was only a tenth of the abilities that they were putting into these to try to get this all done, we would probably have a much better and different world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. If only though, right? But
Yeah,
what do they say if wishes were fishes or something?
I don't know, but you could shit in one hand and wish in the other, and which one fills up first?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna say the shit hand.
Yeah.
But it depends on, a lot of other factors. Anyway.
Yep. All right. Well, let's wrap this up. Will, thank you
Yes.
for coming on. We
Will,
appreciate
you're the
it
best.
and hanging out as well.
Yeah.
Make
And
some
yes,
money tonight,
we'll
man.
definitely be we'll definitely be following up with you in a few
Sounds
weeks
good.
after you get that information with the switch and how you're doing out there when it comes to it. Asking passengers too if more if they're choosing black over Lux or whatnot, and love to get some more information on that. So
I'm
thanks for coming on
sure
and sharing that.
I'm sure it's gonna be good because my friend who did black during Halloween, he made $700 in one night. So
Ooh,
it's like,
ooh.
where can you get? Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, that's only $700 trips. Like,
that's crazy. $700 in one night.
sometimes
That's nuts.
sometimes I take seven trips. I don't even make $40.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'll for sure keep you and Sergio and Gabe all in the loop.
Right on.
And yeah, thanks for allowing me on. I really appreciate it.
No, we had a great
All right.
time. Thank
Yep.
you, Will.
Thanks.
All
All
right.
right.
All right.
Gabe, anything
All
more
right.
than Gabe?
No.
All right. It was a great show. Awesome with Will and Matt coming on. Appreciate that, as well as some other things. You could catch us live on EV Money here, right here on the RideShare Guy. The second Thursday of the month. So the next one will be in December, December 14th to be exact. So we will see you guys then. If not, if you want to see me, maybe Gabe. I don't know if he's going to come on or not. But
Oh,
myself
yes.
will be on Show Me the Money Club live Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, as well as all of our great other content here on the RideShare Guy. And also, if you're not part of the Facebook group yet, over on Facebook for the Uber and Lyft EV drivers, go over there, hit that up. Link will be in the description. All right, everybody.
All right.
See
I
ya.
want to thank our forum members, and I want to thank you guys for being on the comments. Great stuff you brought up. Really appreciate you being here.
Yep. Thanks.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
See you,
Bye,
Will.
thanks.